Beware. Hello, my OnlyFans subscribers, and welcome back to Viewer Beware. It's the only show where we go over each and every episode of the original Goosebumps TV series, and today we're watching The Blob That Ate Everyone. And I know what you're thinking, didn't we already go over this similar premise with Monster Blood?
That's what I was thinking.
And that's kind of true, but this one has a little bit more of a twist to it. You see, in The Blob That Ate Everyone, the blob's more of a mindless eating machine, and in Monster Blood, it's more of a magical being that can make dogs and bugs grow huge or turn goth women into cats.
So, it's worse.
Well, the jury's still out on that one, but in The Blob That Ate Everyone, it's the story of a young boy who is a aspiring horror author that discovers a magical power. And sure, we've seen it before, but have we seen it with a blob to boy transformation? I don't think so. So, with that being said, let's get our appetites ready for the blob that ate everyone.
Of all the stupid chores my mom makes me do, cleaning out the basement has got to be the creepiest.
Our adventure starts with Zack and his friend Alex cleaning out the basement at the request of his mom before Alex makes a discovery.
Check this out. I wonder what's inside.
Don't open it.
Upon opening the science project, Alex discovers it's a box of worms. But it's not just worms, and Zack gets attacked. How will he ever get out of this one? I guess he just stops writing, because it was all just a horror story. Zack is getting feedback on his story from Alex and his other friend Adam.
If you ask me, it was lame.
Zack shrugs it off and heads home with Alex before they stumble across a condemned store that had burned up in an electrical fire. Zack wants to explore the building for horror story inspiration when he sees an old school typewriter and decides to give it a touch. I guess the electrical current wasn't so bad as he wakes right up and gets to looting the store before the owner comes out of the shadows.
You didn't touch anything, did you? It's very dangerous.
I told him.
It's a very strange move to ask if he touched anything while he is currently holding a gigantic typewriter in his arms. Zack owns up to the fact that he was going to take the typewriter but offers to pay. However, the store owner, probably still distraught over losing her entire business, just lets him have it.
Well, just take it. If you promise to write a really scary story.
Excuse me?
That night, Zack gets set up on his typewriter when Alex, dressed as Chucky from Child's Play, drops in to see how it's going.
Oh, it's just you.
Hey, how's it going?
Great, I'm almost ready to write the Blob story.
Zack types the line that it was a dark and stormy night, and suddenly, a storm blows in and knocks the power. Shrugging off the coincidence, Zack resumes typing and writes, "The wind began to howl."
What is that?
Zack is starting to get freaked out, but Alex urges him to keep typing. She is just abnormally supportive of her friend's hobbies. After typing, Alex and Zack were alone in the dark house. They decide they need more candlelight to see what Zack is typing, so they search the house but cannot find Zack's dad anywhere. Alex deduces that it must have been because of what Zack had wrote down, so she makes him write another line, which is that the two hear a knock at the door. Despite making him write the words, Alex is insistent that Zack not open the door because anything could be out there. But it turns out it was nobody, because Zack didn't write that anyone was there yet. Zack still doesn't believe in the magic typewriter and thinks Alex is just being crazy. But Alex insists that Zack try writing more and see what happens. Zack types that behind the door is their friend Adam, soaked in rain.
What are you doing here?
Whoa!
And just like that, Adam is at the house. Adam has no clue why he is there or what is happening, so the two explain the magic of the typewriter and show Adam how it works. Zack types that the storm stops and gets silent, which it immediately does.
All was quiet. Too quiet. Check it out.
But Adam still doesn't believe, so he pranks the two by writing something and leaving.
Believe you.
Adam, no!
Gotta go. See ya.
Zack reads that Adam wrote about a blob monster in the basement waiting for fresh meat, so Alex says they should check it out, which seems like the opposite of what they should do. Down in the basement, the two hear some strange noises, but it turns out to just be Adam continuing the prank.
Fresh meat. Fresh meat.
Beware the blob monster. Beware Zack's power. Real funny, Adam. You should be on stage.
You really think so?
Convinced that the typewriter incidents were all coincidence, the kids all decide to call it a night and get some rest. The next day, Zack types up his blob monster epic on the typewriter and gives Alex a call to let her know about the action scene at the video store he just wrote. Zack's dad overhears him on the phone and asks him to go rent a video for the night. At the video store, Zack is confronted by Adam and his cronies, which is a bit confusing because up until this point, Adam felt like a slightly antagonistic friend, but is now more of a traditional bully.
Later.
After the bullies leave, all hell breaks loose and everybody rushes out of the store screaming. Zack, a moron, decides that he should stick around and check it out. But it's not long before he's snatched up by Pizza the Hut from Spaceballs. Adam helps Zack up and thinks it's an elaborate prank Zack is pulling before he gets munched on.
That's wicked.
Adam, no! It's for real! Come on, get out of here! It's true! I gotta get to the typewriter!
While Adam is literally still being chewed, Zack runs away instead of helping him out of the monster's mouth. At home, Zack meets up with Alex and lets her know the blob monster scene he just wrote came to life, and it's about to eat the whole town. Alex runs to the window and sees the blob is right outside, so she makes Zack sit down and type. But not only can he not think of an ending, the keys are jammed up.
Tight, Zack, tight!
I can't! The keys are jammed!
As the two are cornered in the room by the blob, Zack remembers that when Adam typed the night before, nothing happened. So the magic powers are Zack's and not the typewriter's. So Zack just thinks about an ending he wants, and the blob morphs into Adam.
I do! I have the power!
What power?
Forget it.
You wouldn't understand.
So, Zack saved the day because he just thought the problem should go away. A bit anticlimactic, wouldn't you think? He just can't think of an ending, so he stops. Kind of reflective on the writers of the episode themselves.
Endings are hard.
The book actually gets a little bit more nonsensical because at the climax of the story, we switch POVs to a blob monster showing his story to a group of other blob monsters, meaning that Zack and his friends are just characters in a made-up story that's being peer-reviewed in a school session of blob monsters. And before you know it, the feedback and the strong-arm editing via a party of invested writers change the entire story and characters into something you don't even recognize, and it's something that nobody even wants anyway.
It's just like Suicide Squad.
Exactly, and that's way too much to take in, so let's just assume that never happened and say that Zack is a magical boy because he got electrocuted by a device that doesn't use electricity. And really, this newfound power just screws over Zack's whole life. He wants to be a horror writer, but he can't think of anything without it actually happening. He can't write horror at all, or else, it's gonna happen. And it's more of a curse than anything because he manifests all of his thoughts immediately into an actionable, real thing. And this would be fine if you're like an optimist, everything goes your way, but if you're a pessimist, then your life is just gonna spiral into a piece of shit.
You think life sucks, therefore it does.
In a way, the fallout of this power is just way more frightening than a random blob monster ever could be. But the blob monster didn't really pose a huge threat in the episode. In the book, it's this gigantic purple mass that absorbs everything. It took out the whole police force. And in the episode, it's just this yellowish foam rubber that is roughly the size of like a really fat guy. And all it really does is scoot towards Zack. I mean, with the right moves, he could just kind of trap it in a room or something. Ultimately, the twist started so weak, and the adaptation didn't do anything to fix that. And it just feels lacking. There's no punch or anything to this episode. It just kind of starts, builds a premise, and then ends. It's really disappointing. It's on the more disappointing side of all the episodes we've watched so far. And so for that, I'm going to have to give The Blob That Ate Everyone 2 bumps out of 5. Check it out. I kind of just gave you all you need to know about it. I mean, there's not a lot. If you're an aspiring horror writer that is looking for a typewriter in a burnt down store, be careful because you might have superpowers afterward. And then, you know, next time you think of something, it's going to happen to you. You know, mind is strong. I don't know what I was saying. Anyway, I'll catch you guys on the next one on Viewer Beware.
Later.